And I welcome you today to CSC Talk Radio. It is my honor, my privilege, and my pleasure to be here with you today. You know, the left and the Democrats, that's the DIMs, dim, like they're not the brightest bulb in the box. They didn't care about Russia. They didn't care about hacking. They didn't care at all until they lost the presidential election in 2016. They don't care about cheating. They cheat a lot. They fixed the DNC primary against the Socialist Democrat Bernie Sanders. By the way, did you see what he was saying yesterday? But he was a big threat to Hillary. A big threat. He might have received the nomination had she not fixed it. But don't worry about Bernie. Bernie's going to be okay. But like I said, did you see what he said yesterday? He said that all Americans should be equal with their wealth. So when he goes, he's getting ready. I'm certain that he's getting ready to redistribute his wealth. Hey, Bernie, I could use a little cash here. What you say? I could use just a little help. The entire 2016 election was a problem. But it wasn't the Russians. Why do you think? Why do you think they're so upset about it? You know that it wasn't the Russians, right? Yeah, the Russians might have meddled. As Rand Paul says, they meddle, we meddle, everybody meddles, everybody does it. Yeah, that didn't really wash when we told Mom and Dad that, you know, everybody's doing it. Remember how angry the left was when President Trump said, "You think we're so innocent?" That was only maybe a year or so ago, and oh my gosh. But the sky didn't fall. Hillary had the 2016 election all wrapped up and paid for. It was in a pretty little bow. But then the deplorables decided, not going to happen. Let me take a little side trip here. You, who love the title deplorables, just because she gave it to us, but let me make sure that you know you are not deplorable. You are increasingly necessary, and you are the absolute foundation of this nation. You are the ones who can make and break elections. You. The Russians didn't stop you. Hillary couldn't buy you. And I'm so proud of you, the deplorables. With the Democrats, it's not about Constitution. It's not about we the people. It's not about the children. Well, it's not about the American children. Statistics show that 2,700,000 kids have a parent in prison. 400,000 kids are in foster care. 765,000 kids are separated from their military parents, not knowing if they'll ever see them again. Not to mention the millions and millions of babies murdered through abortion. But the media and the Dems, DIM, not the brightest bulb in the box, focus on 2,000 kids who are temporarily separated from illegal aliens, strangers in our house. It's not about the women either with the Democrats. It's not about rights. It's not about health care. It's about control. It's not about policies really either. The GOP half-heartedly offered a bill to remove ICE, and the Dems refused to vote. Because if they voted, well, for one thing, they'd lose. That's what they said. That's why they didn't want to bring it to a vote. But if they would win that one, they can't round on that particular gripe in the elections, can they? It's about power. It's about money. It's about a complete change in governance. That's right. There is no democracy. There is no republic in a socialism, is there? And that's what they want. President Trump is not a traitor. There has been plenty of trading going on. Free trade. The U.S. getting the raw deal. You know, the D.C. occupiers occupying offices and cutting deals. Open border policies by the Dems and the reps to increase the population of voters. As I have pointed out before, we do have traitors. We have a deep state. We have a corrupt government in place. There might be a few there who are not, but it is a mess, and you and I both know it. Congress is to blame. All things fall back on Congress. Congress is the greatest threat to American liberty, to the American, if you want to call it a democracy, to the republic. They are the greatest threat to your jobs, to your way of life. I mentioned to you last week that the Supreme Court issue, the hysteria by the left, isn't about Kavanaugh. But the Dems, not the brightest bulb in the box, we say that, but you know, they are pretty calculated. But they fear the Constitution. I have an article on that. The Dems know that they've been abusing and ignoring the Constitution for a long time. The hysteria this week about President Trump and Putin meeting secretly. The Dems nor the Republicans seem to mind giving the Iran deal to President Barack Obama and his little sidekick Kerry, making secret deals nobody knew about, and later found out that that also included piles of cash on pallets delivered to Iran. But that wasn't traitorous. That didn't go against the U.S. That didn't put a target on all the American citizens. Yeah, we'll pay you off. Just hang on. I don't know about you, but when my kids were throwing fits and being unreasonable and you couldn't talk to them, they were uncontrollable, they were sent to their room to sit in silence and think about what they had said or what they had done. And it's time we sent a few politicians to their room. Send them home. Let's take back our nation. Deplorables rule. Don't you think? Deplorables rule. We were the ones. The Russians didn't stop us. No. The Russians didn't stop us with their tweeting and their silly Facebook posts and their attempt to hack into the elections. And the president is not a traitor, but we have plenty of traitors. We have plenty of traitors. This is just an example of some of the hysteria. And it has in it, and you know, it's from the left side. It has in it a tweet, a quote from Rob Reiner. And you know, he's anti-Trump. He hates Trump. Absolutely hates him. He's a socialist. He says the United States was attacked. We didn't see bombs hitting Pearl Harbor. We didn't see the planes crash into the buildings. By cyber missiles struck the heart of the democracy. It was an insidious act of war. Anyone who aids and abets this is committing treason. And of course, he was saying that President Donald Trump committed treason. They're upset with Donald Trump. He says he misspoke. I'm not so sure he did, but we're going to give him that. The word would should have been wouldn't. I mean, I know I speak every day on the air. I misspeak, and I have it written in front of me sometimes or typed out with typos. But stop and think about all that we have seen in the last year and a half, 2 years. Why would we have a lot of confidence in our intelligence community? We're going into a break. Your calls are welcome at 877-895-5410. That's 877-895-5410. And we will be right back.